Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention?
I am that dude, Bodkins. Patty to patty. It's ridiculous. No way. There's nobody else out there. He's your guy. Give a big round of applause for the one and only Bodkin Show. I'm going to repeat that again, folks. I didn't stutter. Welcome to the Bodkins Show.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another great episode of the Bodkin Show. This is our Week 11 wrap-up show, and it's a victory Sunday, baby. That's right, as my Packers handled the business and might have finally put the nail in the coffin in the Chargers this season and maybe Brandon Staley's coaching career. I don't think he's fired tomorrow, but I definitely think he's fired at the end of the year. Along with a few other coaches that we'll get to today, i.e. Ron Rivera and a couple other guys coaching today. And I feel like there's a lot of lame duck coaches going on, and those are just to name a few. Maybe Bob Sala's on the hot seat, or maybe they'll just ride this out with Aaron Rodgers. But he finally makes the call to the pen. See ya, Zach Wilson. He's gone. A lot of injuries today. Aaron Jones, he gets hurt. A couple other quarterbacks, a couple other big key players got hurt in the games. So we'll see. I thought Josh Dobbs got hurt in this game, in this Vikings-Broncos game, but all's well ends well for Josh Dobbs here. They're driving down. But we got all the guys, got a couple guys with us tonight to talk about it all. None other than our own Mr. Hall of Famer, Scott Coe. Scott, what's up, my brother?
You mean the show starting now? We had all our discussions before the show, right? What a nice day. What a nice day for especially for you, Nick. Congratulations on your Packers, first of all.
Yeah, I mean, those victories don't come very often. We are now one day. I'm one win. I think that's 4 wins for the Packers. So they need one more for Tanner to have the rest of the year. He has to wear something Packers on every show he's on for the rest of the year. So
welcome to the cheeseheads. And
yep,
I need Johnny to go talk to the Dolphins about playing football because they didn't really play a lot of good football today. So yeah, Tyreek was in. He was out. He came back in. HN supposedly is fine. We'll see.
Yeah, Tyreek still had. He put on another case for MVP today.
Yeah. And Matt, I wouldn't say that based on how the Lions played today, to be honest with you.
I don't know, but I mean, they might have been overlooking the Bears and ready to play. Yeah. I don't like our chances against Detroit on Thanksgiving Day. I don't think it's going to be 100-0. I know Matt loves to troll a little bit. He's a big Lions fan, but good for the Lions. I mean, that's Nick, the game that 2 years ago, a year ago, they lose down 2 scores and they come back and win. In a game that the Bears should have won. Eberflus is another guy should be getting ready to get fired probably in the next.
Yeah, I like the Packers to keep the game close Thursday because if the Lions don't have much time to correct what they did wrong today, so you're not gonna see the great Lions team that is 8-2 right now. You're probably gonna see something like it, but. Hey, the Packers could go in. They nothing to lose.
First time the Lions are 8-2 since 1962, and it's actually the Browns are they haven't been this high. It was since 1962 with the Browns as well haven't had this late in the season have a winning record like this.
Yeah, if Philly loses
since
tomorrow,
John F. Kennedy was president.
I mean, I don't know what the tiebreakers are, but if Philly loses tomorrow, Detroit could be the number 1 seed in the NFC right now. After tomorrow night,
yeah,
they'll both be 8-2. So, stranger things have happened. Detroit gets the number 1 seed. They're a dangerous team at home. So,
yeah, they are. And you mentioned the Dolphins, and we can't mention the Dolphins without our own Mr. Johnny Cruz, Mr. Yankee fan himself. Johnny, Dolphins got a win. I mean, you said it before the show. A win's a win, but it was an ugly win. And kudos to the Raiders. I don't know if this today was more – I didn't catch a whole lot of that game. I don't know if that game was more about the Dolphins or more about the Raiders, but kudos to the Raiders for it continuing to play hard and continue to, seem like a legitimate team with Antonio Pierce out there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they came ready to play. They came out swinging. They had a really good game plan. the Raiders. As far as the Dolphins, man, it was a sloppy game offensively. Defensively, they are coming together. They're playing really good football. Defensively, they held Josh Jacobs, I believe, 36 or 39 yards rushing.
Jacobs was on a milk carton.
Yeah, I think overall offense, I think they had like 290 yards or something like that, and a lot of it was in that last drive trying to come back there. So the defense came ready to play. The offense was sloppy. A couple of turnovers. We had some guys out. Durham Smythe, who we talked about before the show, was on the inactive list, and he's our only real tight end. Julian Hill's an undrafted kid that is developing really nice, but the one pass that he gets, he fumbles it. Tua, who has been doing a great job of being as safe as possible, usually slides, actually dives to try to get a first down in the first quarter, fumbles the ball. And that gave up 6 points right there. So it should have been a 20-7 game as far as the defense, but I will take an ugly win. I mean, this is a game, and I tweeted it out. This is a game that past years the Dolphins would have lost this game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So they found a way to win the game. They were the better team. They should have won the game. Yeah, they still wound up with like 400 and something yards of total offense. So, I mean, offensively, they put up numbers. It was just really sloppy. So thanks God for the defense. Jalen Ramsey is a stud.
He's a beast. He's a beast.
That interception to seal the game was like, I was so worried that he hurt himself on the play though, but thankfully he just kind of knocked the wind out of himself. But that was a hell of he had a great day. Jalen Phillips had a great day. The whole defense played well. But that Raiders team, man, they came ready to play. And that O'Donnell kid, I don't know why he hadn't been starting all those other. I mean, that's probably what costed McDaniels his job, to be quite honest.
Well, yeah, they went with Brian Hoyer against the Bears.
Right. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this kid, he's a rookie, but he's a 25-year-old rookie. And he didn't play bad in a couple of spot starts he had early in the season. So I didn't understand why they went away from him. And I'm sure the rest of the team was probably thinking the same damn thing. So he's not a bad player. Devontae had the one nice play that he got past the defense and scored on the touchdown. Otherwise, the Raiders didn't really do much else offensively, but it was a nail biter there to the end. But again, like I said, a win is a win. I will take it. We're 7-3. We're 2 games up in the division, and we got a short week going up to the Jets to play against. I don't even know who's the quarterback's going to be for the Jets, but we're going up against that Jets defense.
It'll be Todd Boyle.
It's Robert Saleh. Robert Saleh's the quarterback's pride.
Right. Well, wait, Hackett. Was it Hackett a quarterback or no? Am I thinking wrong?
Here's what I will say about the Dolphins before we go on, and I don't know if people will tweet me or whatever. Tyreek Hill's the best wide receiver in the NFL right now.
No, I think he is. I said he's MVP. I think he's MVP. And we'll start. Let's just go ahead. We'll start with that. We'll start with that game, the Dolphins game, since Johnny was talking about it. Dolphins win 20-13. I mean, Aiden O'Connell did throw 3 interceptions, 271 yards. That Johnny just said that defense is coming along for them. Josh Jacobs, where was he at? 14 carries for only 39 yards. Held him with 2.8 yards of average. Devontae, 7 of 82 and a touchdown. The Dolphins on the Dolphins side, Tua, not a great game for Tua, but really good. 325 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Raheem Mostert, 22 carries, 86 yards. I mean, Tyreek, we just said it. Scott said it. I said I think he's MVP. Puts up another case for MVP today. 10 receptions, 146 yards, 1 touchdown. Jalen Waddle had 4 for 55. Salvin Ahmed had the other touchdown. The Dolphins win this game in a closer game than what it should have been, but nonetheless, Dolphins move to 7-3. Raiders fall 5-6. So, you guys got any more thoughts here on this Dolphins Raiders game?
No, I just think the Dolphins' strength on offense is their depth. They have nice depth. Robbie Chosen, they just re-signed, brought him off the practice squad. He has 3 or 4 big catches. Ahmed's the 3rd running back on the team, maybe the 4th. And he gets a touchdown today. So they have really good depth on the offensive side of the football. So,
yeah, they definitely need to play a lot better, a lot cleaner offensively. But like I said earlier, the defense is coming together really well. They're playing a lot better against the run. That was one of their issues early on in the season. They were getting slashed by the running game in the first few weeks. But They're healthy for the most part on the defense side of the ball. Offensively, we got to get a couple of the interior offensive linemen back. We got to see what's up with Devon Achane, but again, a win is a win. We'll take it, but they definitely got to play better. And props to the Raiders. They came ready to play, man. They came ready to play, and they battled. To be honest, if they had a better quarterback, that would have been a problem that game. But we were playing against a rookie. We were able to confuse him a couple of times and turn him over a few times. So that gave us a game. And like you said, we're 7-3 and in first place. So that's all that matters to me right now.
Yeah, and hold on, I was reading something. Didn't know that. Sunday's Bears-Lions games will feature 3 sets of brothers, or I guess it did feature 3 sets of brothers. This got sent to me. The St. Brown brothers, Penny Sewell, Noah Sewell, and Julian and Romero Okora. They did say Achane wanted to come back in, but so he should be good for us Achane holders who've been holding on to him all season, ready for him to break in.
For you, Achane, I would be cautious about playing him on Friday against the Jets. Like I said, they've been a little more cautious when it comes to injury, so I would not expect him to play on Friday, to be quite honest. On a short week, with him injuring the same exact knee that he just hurt, I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't play.
Yeah, hopefully he does, because I need him to. So let's get into it. We called it. Hey, take the under. It was. I think we said the over was 20 points in this game. I can't remember what it was, but
32. If this 30, is the game we're talking about,
the Browns Steelers.
32. Yep. 32.
It was 23 total here. Browns win 13-10 and a game-winning field goal. I mean, it's time to get rid of the Matt Canada experience in Pittsburgh. I don't know how you only scored 10. I know the Browns defense is really good, but God dang it, they're playing with a rookie quarterback. But nonetheless, Steelers, Kenny Pickett goes 15-28, 106 yards, no touchdowns. Jaylen Warren, 9 carries for 129 yards, 1 touchdown. George Pickens, 4 for 38. I mean, that's it. I mean, there's no passing at all. Deontay Johnson only had 2 receptions. Then you get DTR. He played decent. I mean, 20 of 43, 165 yards. You're not asking him to do a whole lot. They ran the ball 12 times with Kareem Hunt, 12 for 36. Jerome Ford, 12 for 31, had the 1 touchdown. And that was it. Receiving-wise, Elijah Moore had 6 receptions for 60 yards. David Njoku, 7 for 56. Browns win in what I said was this is a division eliminator game. Browns win it. Johnny, is this Browns team? Are they headed to the playoffs?
Oh my God, that's. I mean, if Deshaun was healthy, I would say yes. I don't know. I mean, that defense is obviously very good.
Hey, everybody want to talk about every MVP. I mean, Myles Garrett is putting up not just defensive player in the year award, but
he's a dog.
He could be MVP.
He's a dog. He's a hell of a player. He's definitely coming into his own these last couple of years. I mean, their record would say that yes, they're a playoff team, but
listen.
How much further can DTR honestly take? You know what I'm saying? I mean, they were playing an inept Pittsburgh team that just cannot do nothing offensively, and on Canada. But is it Matt Canada, or do we really need to start looking at Kenny Pickett now?
It might be both, combination of both, but we won't know until they get rid of one to figure out if the other one.
True.
So my 2 thoughts on this game are very simple. I said 3 weeks ago Kenny Pickett's a bust. He's a bust. He's a bust. He can't lead the team. Jaylen Warren had a 74-yard rushing touchdown. At one point in the game, he had more yards on that rushing touchdown than the other Steelers players had in the game combined.
I believe it. Their offense is inept. And back to the Browns, Scott, they got a favorite schedule coming up. So they got the Broncos next week. That's a winnable game. The Broncos aren't lighting the world on fire. That's an interesting game. Right. Then they got the Rams, another winnable game. You know what I mean? Like these teams, like as long as they're not playing teams that are offensively super high scoring, they got a chance.
Right. Their defense will carry them in any game.
I think so. I think they could win those 2 games. The game that they play the Jags in Cleveland, I would favor the Jags in that game.
Even though Trevor Lawrence shows up sometimes, and then other times he's a no show.
Yeah.
So
then they got the Bears, a very winnable game.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
They stink. Then they got the Texans. I would favor the Texans. So there's 2 losses.
Yep.
And then they got the Jets, winnable game. Then they got the Bengals, winnable game.
Winnable game.
So you're looking at they would have 5 losses if they run down the stretch. That's
11 and 12 wins definitely get you in the playoffs.
I mean, after you reading off the remainder of that schedule, I mean, I would probably say, then, you know what I'm saying? I mean, they're not going to ask DTR to do too much. Just, I mean, I know he had the 1 turnover today, but just if they can run the ball and, he can make a play here or there, and he's athletic enough to do it with his legs if he has to, this defense is going to keep them in games. I mean, because none of those teams that you mentioned are unbeatable. So Cleveland's
I would probably pick them in most of them games besides the 2 losses I gave them.
If they put 17,
Pittsburgh may be the one that's in trouble.
Yeah, if they put 17 points a game up Cleveland on offense, they could win almost any game they play because of that defense.
Yeah.
So,
you're asking the kid to score 1 touchdown and maybe we kick 2 field goals, or just get us 2 touchdowns.
And don't give the other team a touchdown.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The last thing I'll tell you is I didn't know the Iowa college football scrimmage was in Cleveland today.
Yeah. And the Browns are going to have to play like the Hawkeyes, Scott. Yes. That's the way they're going to have to play. They're going to have to look at this DTR kid. Don't lose us the game. That's all you're going to ask us. We're not going to ask you to win the game, but don't lose us the game. And today he really won the game. He drove down and kicked the game, got it driving, and then Pittsburgh's a tough defense. So drove them down against the top 10.
Last thing I'll say is shout out to Bobby G. He called them to make the playoffs before the season started in our preview show for the division.
Yeah.
He said he guaranteed they're making the playoffs, and they're probably going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I thought they'd win a division too. I don't know about that now without no Deshaun Watson, but I like this.
It's not like Watson was
like
the field on fire.
Right, but he was starting to get a little better.
The Bengals losing Joe Burrow is more important to that team than Deshaun losing to the Browns losing Deshaun.
Yeah, because that Cincinnati defense ain't nowhere near what Cleveland's.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Agree. And bye, PJ Walker. It was nice seeing you, but you ain't playing.
DTR. I mentioned it to Bob.
Well, they're bringing in Joe Flacco now to be the emergency backup.
Which isn't a bad thing. Which is not a bad thing. It's a good thing for them having a veteran in the quarterback room. So
because that'll help this young quarterback. Yeah, that's it. You better hope you don't have to play. You don't want that statue back there.
Press the button. Joe, go out there, play quarterback like a robot. Press the button. Boom, 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 boom.
Well, even Joe Flacco will be better than what
you're looking at. And you're looking at the Steelers. The Steelers. I'm gonna look at their schedule real quick while we're talking about them because we kind of said this was like a definitely divisional game that their schedule down the stretch is pretty easy too. They got the Bengals next week. That's a winnable game. The Cardinals is a winnable game. The Patriots, they could lose they got the Colts. I mean, it just depends on what Colts teams show up. But at the same time, what Steelers offense shows up.
Right. Well, the thing with me is, the Bengals again? Yeah, can Pittsburgh score 20 points in the game? That's my question.
Yeah.
Can they?
Shit, can they score 17?
With the last 2 games, maybe that they got to win to get in are tough. They got the Seahawks who will still be fighting for playoff position, and then they got the Ravens who could be trying to win the number 1 seed and clinch the play. You know what I mean? Clinch the number 1 seed. So like those last 2 games of the year,
they better hope Baltimore's got everything clinched up by that week 18.
But if I'm Baltimore and I can if I can kick Pittsburgh out, I can do that to my division rival, I'm punching them out.
I'm with you.
Well, the only thing is what's Baltimore health situation, because if it's sketchy, Lamar ain't starting that game. It's going to be Snoop Huntley. So that's the question I would ask. If Baltimore has the number 1 seed and everything wrapped up, I don't think you see Lamar in that last game. I think you see Huntley in that last game. So.
Yeah, but even Huntley showed you last year that he can win you a ball game if you need him to. But
I think Huntley and Gus would be out. I think you'd see Keaton Mitchell and Justice Hill in that Week 18 game. But you'd see the receivers too. But I think the Mark Andrews injury Baltimore looks at it and says, if we clinch everything by that week, we ain't playing much of anybody. So
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, let's get into the next one. We got the Lions and the Bears. The Lions come back. They were down 14 at one point and score 17 points in the fourth quarter, win this game 31-26. They get the late touchdown, then a safety. Justin Fields in his return action, 16-23, 169 yards, 1 touchdown. Rushed 18 carries, 144 yards. Khalil Herbert, 16 carries for 35. DJ Moore, 7 for 96 and a touchdown. Only person that worthy of noting in the passing area. Jared Goff. We might want to temper his MVP talk after today a little bit. 223 at 35, 236 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. David Montgomery, 12 carries for 76 yards, 1 touchdown. Jahmyr Gibbs, 8 of 36 and a touchdown. Amon St. Brown, 8 for 77 and a touchdown. Jameson Williams caught a touchdown, 2 for 44 and a touchdown. So big comeback for the Lions, Scott, as they get to 8-2. Bears now fall to 3-8.
they took the Bears for granted early in this game, I think. They thought they were just going to go out and win. I don't think Detroit's at this point yet where they could just say, okay, it's the Bears. We're going to go out and we're just going to win the game. Can't do that. Jared Goff would not allow it in the first half. He made stupid decisions. He turned the ball over, bad picks. The running game was ineffective. David Montgomery only 21 yards at halftime. Gibbs wasn't doing anything. And then all of a sudden halftime came and Dan Campbell must have said, hey, guys, wake up. I'm saying it nicely, but he probably threw a little F-bombs in there. But
yeah,
he ripped his team a new one at halftime and probably said, you guys are playing like crap. Pick it up now. And they went out and they played a different game. David Montgomery ripped off a 20-yard run, the first play of the second half, and you knew right there that Chicago was in trouble. But Chicago played very well.
David Montgomery revenge game at that.
Absolutely. And we had said on my show Friday night, don't be surprised if he gets a touchdown. Sure enough, he gets the winning touchdown. So,
yeah.
It was a nice day for Montgomery. Jahmyr Gibbs, 6 catches today. The only bad spot was Sam Laporta. Where the heck was he? You're not throwing 5 packets.
He was ruining everybody's fantasy league and ruining everybody's parlay prop bets.
Yeah.
Every other prop bet, there's
always one guy.
Hit. Except
all I needed him to do on a parlay was get 25 yards. He was the only guy that didn't do it for me. And he got 18 yards.
Freaking yards.
And that was in the last drive when Montgomery scored a touchdown. He had done nothing up until then. Where the heck was he? The last 2 weeks. Last week he was bad too. So
I guess teams are catching on, but that was, it was an entertaining game there at the end. Justin Fields came ready to play. He did everything he possibly could to help that team win the game.
18 carries for 100 yards.
Yeah, it's not his fault that defense couldn't stop shit in the second half. But props to Detroit. They woke up in the second half, did what they had to do to win this game. You mentioned it earlier. If things fall right, they could battle Philly for that number 1 seed, which is crazy to think about. But shout out to Dan Campbell and the Detroit Lions, man. We need to calm down with the Jared Goff MVP talk, but he made some plays there at the end. He's got a lot of good young skill players. Amon-Ra St. Brown is a stud, bro. He's a stud, bro. I love that kid, man. He's a hell of a player. If
Jameson Williams can finally get going, and I was kind of reading, they want him to become a better blocker before he starts playing more. He doesn't. He's not a great blocker. And Dan Campbell. That's kudos to the Lions for saying, yeah, we drafted you in the top 10, but by God, you can't fucking block, and you got to be all in on this team to win. And they said he's developing better as a blocker, but if they told him you want more playing time, you got to become a fucking elite player, like an all-around player. Right. You're just not going to be able to catch passes here in Detroit. You're going to have to block a little. So kudos for them for doing that as well.
Yeah, they're building the culture that they want there in that organization, and I like it. I dig it. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy for Dan Campbell, former Miami Dolphin tight end. So I'm glad he's doing. You know what I'm saying? He's building that culture there for the Detroit Lions, and yeah, they don't care where they draft you if you're not going to be committed and do all the little things and everything they need you to do to be a complete player, they're not going to play you. So hopefully he picks it up, because that'll be a scary duo if he can actually pick up his game, Jameson Williams, to go along with Amon. And then you got that backfield with Gibbs and Montgomery. That's a nice squad they put together. That offensive line is a top 5 offensive line in all of football. So
yeah,
they got a good team, man. They got a good team they put together there.
Here's what I will say about the Lions. If any team needs the number 1 seed, it's the Detroit Lions of the NFC. If they had to go to Philadelphia in January in 15-degree weather and maybe snow, I don't trust Jared Goff in that. They need to get the number 1 seed.
Either that or hope the 49ers get it if they're not going to get it.
Or hope the 49ers get it so there's nice weather. Because if they have to go to Philly, if it's snowing, no chance with Jared Goff. So
I don't know how I feel about him, come playoff time, even if it is San Francisco or at home, to be completely honest, it is still Jared Goff. But yes, the chances are better if they are at home. Exactly. But yeah, I like that squad. I mean, I guess depending on where their seating is, we'll see how far they can get. But they're fun to watch, man. They're a good team. They're a good fun team to watch.
Yeah, let's get into a team that's not fun to watch, and that's our good friend Sam's Titans. They're not fun to watch. They go into Jacksonville and absolutely get blown. This game was a blowout. Tennessee did get a couple points here at the end. They lose 34 to 14. Will Levis finally, they had nothing going in the first half. Will Levis, 13 to 17, 158 yards, 2 touchdowns. Again, no Derrick Henry, and I don't know if it's just because they were down in this game, but he only had 10 carries for 38 yards. DeAndre Hopkins, 4 for 59 and a touchdown. That's the only note in the passing world here. And then we get to the Jags. Trevor Lawrence, 24-32, 262 yards, 2 touchdowns. ETN, 14 carries for 52 yards. Calvin Ridley. Welcome, Calvin fucking Ridley. God, we told somebody not to play that guy.
I was about to say, yeah, we told.
No. We told them to play him because the other options he had were terrible.
Right.
We told him to play.
I think that's the only reason why, though.
Oh, okay.
We were shitting on Calvin
I thought we
Ridley.
said.
I thought we said Ridley this morning.
No, we told it was Ridley, D Hop, and somebody else, and I think we said he needed 2 or 3. I think we said go Ridley, D Hop.
Okay. Well, hopefully. Hopefully he plays.
If not, sorry, bro. If not, sorry.
Yeah, if not, we apologize here. But Ridley finally has his best game as a Jaguar. 7 reception, 103 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Your Jaguars win, Johnny. This is a team that you were kind of riding high on. 34-14.
I just wish I would have freaking picked them this week instead of going with the damn Titans. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. And I almost switched. That's the one during the show on Thursday. I was like, wait, I may have to switch this one. And then I was like, nah, I'll just ride with the Titans, thinking that they could at least cover. Hell no, bro. They didn't even show up, bro. We had Scott in our text thread talk about, get rid of Levis. He's garbage. He's a bust. He ain't no good already. Scott was just, calling all kinds of quarterbacks bust today, man. It was funny. But the Jaguars came. They handled their business. They let the Titans know from jump, you are not winning this game. Sorry. No chance here. So they did what they had to do. They handled their business. They're 7-3, leading that division. They better, because Houston's coming. So, you know what I'm saying? Jacksonville better keep on winning the games they're supposed to win, and this is one that they should have won, and they dominated the game.
Yeah.
Well, the reason I'm saying this, here's why I'm saying this. I said to Sam, Sam, they scored 2 touchdowns on gadget plays.
Yeah.
One was to Jeffrey Simmons, the defensive guy. The other one, the D-Hop, was a double reverse or something.
Yeah.
So Levis only had 100 yards deep into the third quarter and 0 touchdowns.
And no Derrick Henry today either. I mean, only 10 carries for Derrick Henry.
Will Levis needs a running game. If he has no running game, he's exposed. Derrick Henry, I'm sorry, he's past. He's done. He's done. I can't think he's gonna. He's out of Tennessee next year. I can't think that he's gonna resurrect.
He's in Dalvin Cook land, folks. He's in Dalvin Cook land.
Yeah. He certainly is. So
the bad thing about it Go ahead, Scott. Sorry.
And I think Vrabel's out of Tennessee at the end of this year. I think he's going to get out.
Well, that brings us to Carlos's comment here. Titans coaching staff proves they're terrible at choosing offensive coordinators. For that fire Vrabel, somebody has to give him a learning experience. Then he kind of comes back and says he's a good coach, but they just have no rhythm, no plan.
You know where he's going next year? New England. Kraft's going to trade for him. He's coming to New England. He has Vrabel's time run out in Tennessee.
I don't know that it has, though. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know.
I felt like when they fired the GM and he got to pick his GM, they were saying pretty much like,
right,
hey, you're our guy.
I think, I mean, the offensive line is horrible.
Yeah.
Defensively, they're not playing well. I mean, so many blown assignments and stuff. Like, guys were just running free all over them, which was surprising, you know what I'm saying, from a Tennessee defense. But they got a lot more problems than their young quarterback. I actually think he has some pretty good upside. So I'm not giving up on the kid just yet.
I'm not giving up on him
but
yet.
They did not.
I don't know.
The whole team looked like shit today. The whole team looked like shit today, to be completely honest. So they did have to come up with some trick plays just to put some kind of offense together. But Derrick Henry ain't effective if you're coming from behind.
No.
What Vrabel needs to say, and I know he loves veterans because he's an NFL player, he needs to say to Derrick Henry, look, we're going to go with Tyjae Spears the rest of the year.
Yeah.
And you're going to be the backup. If something happens, you're back in there again. But they need to see what they got in Tyjae Spears because Derrick Henry certainly is not getting the job done. He's slow. He's plodding. He's just – it's not good.
Honestly, should have just tore it down from jump for this season, man. They should have just took the L this season, gone with the young quarterback, the young runner.
Well, they're on their I think their third offensive coordinator. Remember, I think if Arthur Smith gets fired in Atlanta, him and Vrabel could, whether it's in New England or back in Tennessee, I could see them getting together again.
Yeah.
I believe so. Except Arthur Smith better not hinder his offense.
So what do we got? Brian Daboll going to Buffalo, Bill Belichick going to the Giants, and Mike Vrabel going to New England.
Yeah. We got the Ryan, our guy Ryan. Congrats on the win, Nick. And we'll get to the Packers here. I don't know if Love was. Hey, for the first time in like 2.5 years, we had a 300-yard passing game. There was no bad interceptions. I think this game was more about the fucking Chargers to me than it was about the Packers. And I'll get to that, and we'll get to this game right now.
Hey, what's that song? Love Stinks? Is that the name of the song?
I don't know if he didn't stink so much today, Scott. He didn't stink so much.
Not today. I give him a lot of credit today.
Aaron Jones did get hurt in this game. LaFleur said it doesn't seem that serious. But, I mean, they said the same thing about his fucking hamstring, and he was out 5 fucking weeks. So, who knows? Bosa goes down with the foot. It looks like he's done. He was on crutches, so he might be done for the year.
Yeah.
We get into it. Justin Herbert, 20 of 36, 206 yards, 2 touchdowns. This is what I don't understand. This is why I said this game's more about the Chargers. This game was close throughout. Last week, Najee Harris and Jalen Warren both ran all over Green Bay. Green Bay has a bottom 10 rushing defense. And what does fucking Brandon Staley come in with Mr. Austin Eckler himself? How about only 10 fucking carries? How do you give Austin Eckler only 10 carries? You know what? He had 10 carries for 64 yards. Yeah. You know what that averages out to be? 6.4. I don't know. Why don't you keep fucking running the goddamn ball? I mean,
Rob,
you know Green Bay can't stop the run.
Right.
Staley needs to be fired yesterday. But thanks anyway. I'll take the Green Bay win. Keenan Allen, 10 for 116 yards, 1 touchdown. We get to the Packers side. Jordan Love, again, this was his best game as a professional so far. So I guess you got to say, hey, we're improving. He's improving. 27 for 40, 322 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jaden Reed, 3 for 46. A.J. Dillon caught rushing wise. He caught it in the round. A.J. Dillon, 14 carries, 29 yards. Then we get into the receiving. Devadion Wicks, 3 receptions for 91 yards. Romeo Doubs, 3 for 53. The game-winning touchdown. Christian Watson he got a touchdown, but he's still absolutely bottom of the barrel on a milk carton. And but I feel like this game was more about the Chargers and why not they didn't fucking run Austin Eckler more. Scott, what about you?
Rob Logan, I hope you're okay, first of all. I hope you didn't watch the game today. Brandon Staley does not watch tape, I guarantee you, of these teams. He just puts his game plan together and says, okay, this is what we're doing. Justin Herbert looked helpless at times back there in the pocket. I don't know what the Chargers are doing. They need to fire Staley yesterday. I agree with you, Nick. He has to go. He has to go. This team is 4-6 right now. With that talent on that team, you're 4-6. Now you got Bosa gone probably for the year. I think the Chargers are going to check out here. I'm afraid they're gonna quit on Staley. I really am. I think they're just tired.
They already have, I think.
I'm about to say they might have already, bro.
Yeah, and I think it's definitely going to be definite. You're going to see it more and more as the weeks go on here. I think they just need to get rid of Staley and take it as a loss and elevate Kellen Moore. Look what it did with the Raiders and Antonio Pierce. They're playing much better football than they were previously. Maybe that'll happen with the
Yeah, Ryan did say it's improvement that I did want to see Love. I'm not impressed. I don't know if I want to say the offensive line is still atrocious. But he did look improved. He does at times look better than he has, and that's what you want to see.
I mean, you got to remember, even though he's been in the league 4 years, he's
a rookie. He's a rookie.
He's still,
so he's going to have his ups and downs, but you can see that the talent is there. You know what I'm saying?
At times, yes, at times, right? And he doesn't have a whole lot.
Right. And as far as Christian Watson, with Dobbs and Reed, that Reed kid is a player.
Oh yeah. So Ryan said it too. Ryan said it here. Jaden Reed is Reed's the best Packers' best offensive weapon. 1,001%.
Yeah. So you got two young receivers. You're gonna have to redo the backfield because Aaron Jones can't stay healthy, and I don't think you want to pay Dylan what it's gonna take to keep him. But you build up that offensive line.
I don't know if it's going to take much to keep Dylan, but I don't know. Who knows?
Probably not. But you build up that offensive line in front of Jordan Love. I think you got something there. As far as the Chargers, bro, like I don't understand. You know what I'm saying? Like you mentioned, the Packers are one of the worst defenses against the run. You got one of the best running backs in Austin Eckler, and you run him 10 times for 64 yards. It's not like it was 10 rushes for 16 yards. It was 10 rushes for 64 yards, so he was running well. You got Justin Herbert running 8 times for 73 yards, so you're running all over this team. That whole coaching staff just, I wouldn't even they probably don't want to fire him because who are you going to put as the interim? That whole coaching staff.
You get a good look at Kellen Moore.
I guess, but how do you put that? How do you see it? Okay, isn't Kellen Moore part of that shit too?
Yeah.
Well, offensive coordinator. Why aren't you running the ball, bro?
Here's what I think is going on. I think Staley is saying, let's put the ball in Justin Herbert's hands and let him win us the game.
Do we know that though?
I don't know.
All we heard about Kellen Moore is he's going to unleash Justin Herbert. Well, we didn't need him to unleash Justin Herbert. We needed him to unleash Austin Eckler in this game.
Yeah.
There's times where it's just, keep it simple. Yeah. This team can't stop the run. Let's run the ball.
You let the Pittsburgh Steelers, who can't run at all, they ran all up and down this last week. Right. It's been proven.
How I knew Kellen Moore was a bad hire from the start was he said in preseason, Josh Kelly's going to be a stud back. We're going to use him a lot. What has Josh Kelly done to show you he's a stud back?
Not a damn thing.
Not a damn
They couldn't even use him when Eckler was hurt. They couldn't even use him.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right, and they're not using them now. Basically,
no,
they're not using them now.
I thought I'm a Eckler owner in fantasy, but if I'm an Eckler owner in fantasy, I'm thinking this is a smash spot, like guaranteed smash spot for them. And they
2
did
touchdowns, 100 yards. That's what I was thinking going in.
Yeah,
2 touchdowns, 100 yards.
Yeah. And their receivers, didn't help them out today either. Allen dropped one in the end zone. Game-winning drive. Quentin Johnson drops one right in his lap. And he probably scores a game-winning touchdown there. Quentin Johnson does. It didn't look like anybody was ahead of him. He just dropped it. Herbert kind of put it on a bucket and dropped.
Johnny, I agree with you. on this wide receiver thing. Keenan Allen's doing everything he can.
I was about to say Keenan Allen had 10 catches for 160
Keenan Allen
yards
did, but he dropped one in the end zone.
I get it. I get it. But I mean, I'm just saying.
I think he lost it in the
that
sun.
His wide receiver core is underperforming.
The sun was being.
Everybody not named Keenan Allen did.
Right.
Everybody named Keenan Allen did.
You're really gonna rely on Quentin Johnston and Jalen Guyton to carry you as a wide receiver core?
That's why you have one of the best running backs in the league. Use him, man. Use him, bro.
Use him.
They should have.
They should have.
Like, how does he only have 2 catches? You know what I'm saying? If you ain't gonna run him, at least throw the ball to Austin Eckler. He's a great receiver as well. I mean, I don't know, man. The whole Kellen Moore, I'm not a big fan.
This is what I would have said. I would at the playing. Austin Eckler, okay, you're on. Justin Herbert, you're on. Brandon Steele, you're not on, buddy. Go. See you later.
You didn't make the list.
You didn't make the list to get on the plane, buddy. See you later. Because he's hindering this Chargers team right now. He really is.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Ryan. Quentin Johnston's a bum right now. They drafted this kid to be in the first round draft pick, and he's. Yeah. I mean, he could have caught a couple big balls today, and he just, for whatever reason.
I mean, they have a type too.
Goddamn Stone.
You say they want the big 6'3", 220 pound guy.
Quentin Johnson was supposed to replace Mike Williams. Yeah.
Right. Or has hands of stone and stuff. You know what I'm saying? They got the one good one with Keenan Allen, but Mike Williams can't stay healthy. Now this kid here can't catch the ball. I mean, I don't know. Maybe a more quicker, twitchier type receiver to complement Keenan Allen might have been a little better way to go for them. But it is what it is, man. Yeah. Chargers are going to charge. I feel bad for you, Rob, but I'll be there supporting.
Chargers going to charge you, and it helped my team today, so I'll take it. You know what I mean? I thought for sure. I was with these guys like Austin Eckler. I expected on my screen watching all day for me to shut it off at halftime. Yeah. Austin Eckler's just running through us. 150 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns.
I thought this was simple. You know what I'm saying? Which is why I picked the freaking Chargers, and I even
I did too, Johnny. I did too.
I was like, I want to pick your Packers, bro, but I think because I just thought they would run the ball.
Yeah,
and no, man, they chose not to. So
I didn't understand it.
Good job, coaching staff.
Yeah. Staley's fired. He's got to go. He's got to go.
Yeah, they're gonna wait to the end of the season. You know what I'm saying? But like there's no way they're gonna make any kind of a run. I mean, because there's still 8 games left or 7 games left. There's nothing they can do, man. Especially in that division. Nah, man.
They're dead.
No, they're done.
They're done.
Yeah, they're dead in the water. You could basically put them in the morgue right now because they're done.
Yeah. So, let's get into another team that's done, and that's the Arizona Cardinals. But I think also done is possibly the CJ Stroud MVP talk as he threw 3 interceptions today. And they won a close game against a team that they should have beat a little bit more. Texans win 21-16. They get to 6-4. Cardinals fall to 2-9. Kyler Murray, 20 of 30, 214 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. James Conner, 14 for 62. Kyler ran 7 for 51 and a touchdown. Greg Dortch, 6 receptions for 76 yards. Trey McBride, 5 for 43. I think we told somebody to play Hollywood Brown, Scott, and that didn't work out too well. 2 of 18 today, so maybe that was CJ Stroud. He had 27 and 33.
The Hollywood Brown thing was go ahead, keep going.
It was the Hollywood Brown.
Go ahead.
We just gotta take the L, bro. We just
take the L. Sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong. You know what I mean?
Would you rather have HN or Brown or the other two? I forget who the other two were. And we say go HN.
Oh, maybe it was, for the rest of the season. For the rest of the season. Yeah. Hey, maybe we can still be right. We were wrong today on that, but the rest of the season we could be right, but today we were wrong on that one. 20 of 7 for 336 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 picks. Scott, you nailed it. Said everybody go get Devin Singletary. He's going to have 112 yards. You were right about this one. 22 carries, 112 yards, 1 touchdown. Tank Dell continues to impress. 8 for 149 yards, 1 touchdown. Dalton Schultz, 2 for 32 and a touchdown. So, what's your guys' thoughts?
I like CJ. I mean, I understand what you said about pump the brakes on the MVP talks, and I hear you on that. But the kid is still playing very well, man. And he's got the Houston Texans at 6-4. Who would have thought that besides Rios, who would have thought that the Texans would be 6-4 after 10 games and in a playoff?
I don't even think Rios knew that. I don't think they think that they were going to be this.
Yes,
like,
I mean, I'm messing with him at the same time, you know what I'm saying? Because it was a complete homer pick. It's not like he really thought this kid was going to be that good. But he's a good player, man. 27 of 37, 336. Yeah, he had the 3 interceptions, but 2 big-time touchdowns to come back and win that game. Dell is a stud, bro. 8 for 149 and a touchdown, like you mentioned. I like CJ Stroud. I like this Houston Texans team.
I do too, and I'll give them this credit. The Just fans, they did call to they've been pounding the Tank Dell.
Yeah.
They were pounding that drum early.
That's a nice combo there with quarterback and wide receiver for a long time. And if Pierce can come back healthy, you got your nice little trio of offensive players there, man.
Ooh,
so
is Tank Dell the best rookie receiver this year? Right, I'm him and Puka.
He is. No,
him and Puka.
Puka may have more catches, but this kid makes more dynamic plays, bro.
Tank Dell's the best rookie receiver this year.
I would go with Tank as well.
Same.
So in preseason, I said the Texans have a possibility of making the playoffs, and everybody said no chance, except for the Just fans guy. So I'm on their bandwagon. Number 2, did you look at the rest of the Texans schedule this year? If they beat Jacksonville next week, where can you say they're going to lose a game? They have Tennessee, Indianapolis, the Jets.
Let me look here.
It's the only game I think after next week, if they beat Jacksonville and tie them for first place, they'll be ahead of them
because they would have the season sweep.
Wow.
Where are they going to lose another game the rest of the – they could end up going 12-5 this year.
Let me look here. They got the Jaguars next week, a team that they already beat. That game's in Houston. Then comes to the Broncos, another winnable game. Then they go to New York, a winnable game. But this also the same team that lost to the fucking Panthers, right? So you just
right.
You know. Then comes the Browns. So that would have been great to see Deshaun Watson back into Houston, but we were robbed from that. Then they got the Titans and then the Colts. So you just never know with such a young team how they're going to perform. But Scott, you're right. Possibly, if they can win next week, they would have the tiebreaker over the Jack. And the Jags are. You just never know about.
If they go 6-1 in the last 7 and win 12 games. You got to give that kid the MVP.
They're in the playoffs
you
for sure.
And you got to give that kid the MVP. If he keeps putting up numbers like this, because I think he's close to Tua or past Tua for passing yards. So he's right up there in the top 2 or 3 in passing yards. He's throwing a bunch of touchdowns. If they go 6-1 in their last 7 and wind up with 12 wins, that's an incredible season, bro. I expect them to stumble a couple times there. They may wind up with 10 wins or something like that. 12
well, Johnny,
wins.
Here's what I will say. He will not win MVP if Mahomes and Hurts down the stretch here
or Tyreek
have a phenomenal end of the season kick and they basically win every game and they throw for like 275 and 2 or 3 touchdowns with Hurts and Mahomes. But if Stroud keeps up what he did the last 2 games, not today, so to speak, because he threw 3 picks. If he gets anywhere near what he did the last 2 games, I agree with you. You have to give strong consideration to CJ Stroud.
Yeah, especially if they wind up with 12 wins and win the division.
Yeah,
exactly. Like, holy shit.
Yeah. Well, he's going to be a runaway offensive rookie of the year. He's
got that locked up.
Yeah.
That's gone. That's gone.
I don't know. It might be. Scott, look it up. It might be minus money at this point in time for CJ Stroud.
Yeah, I can look it up as we're talking.
Yeah. So Just Fan says if Bobby Slowick keeps it going with conservative play calling, Texans have the most trouble executing it. So.
I don't know, man. That kid is making plays for y'all. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you guys watch the team a lot closer than we do, but
yeah. I know nobody's saying
like
Jackson
like I said, that's a lot to ask for a young team to go 6-1 this last.
It is. I don't think they're going. I think they're going to lose a game or 2 that we expect them to win.
Maybe 4-3, But even then, they would wind up 10-7. I mean, that's
I think a
good.
wild card is
that's pretty
possible.
nice. That's nice.
They're such a young team. They're gonna lose a game or two, where you expect them to win, and then they stumble. They almost did that today. You know what I mean? Really?
I mean, when do we start talking about D'Amico for coach of the year?
I think he's right up. Yeah, to me, he's got to be. I think KOC of the Vikings, and I think D'Amico are probably the top two for me right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think Dan Campbell's in there. I think
Dan Campbell as well. Those three.
True. Yeah. They're fun, man. That Houston team is fun to watch.
It is. And the Just fans, guys, you guys, this, I think, the first time in a long time, at least obviously 4 years or so, where you're like, man, like, even no matter what happens this year, the future looks bright. You got the right coach with D'Amico. Right. You got the right quarterback. And now you look around, okay, we have young wide receivers. We got Tank Dell, young wide receiver. We got John Mechie, who has, is still coming back from fucking cancer, but is young. Nico Collins. We got a young running back in Damian Pierce. Hopefully,
the Brown kid, the Noah Brown kid too.
Yeah, out of nowhere from the Cowboys, right?
He was out today.
Yeah.
So CJ Stroud's
we're building something with this defense. You know what I mean? So
CJ Stroud's minus 2,500 for offensive rookie of the year.
Minus 2,500.
And nobody else. Jameer Gibbs is the next guy closest at plus 1,500. For MVP, Stroud was 2,500 2 days ago. He's down to 1,800 plus 1,800 for MVP. So his
odds are improving.
Yeah,
getting a lot of money.
They're putting money on him. A lot of money's going on him.
A lot of people are riding him.
He is right now 1, 2, 3, 4. He's fifth in the MVP race according to the books. It's Hurts, Lamar, Mahomes, Tua, Stroud. Those are the guys.
All quarterbacks, of course. I think Tyreek, to me,
the guy in sixth.
He's insane, bro.
The guy in sixth, Brock Purdy. Right behind him, the MVP.
He balled out today too, man.
Yeah, we'll get to that game here in just a minute. But if I'm a Texans fan, I mean, no matter what happens the rest of the season, you're excited about the future.
You gotta feel good. Yeah, you gotta feel good about the future of your team. Absolutely.
It looked like that. Beginning of the year, you're like, the Jaguars look like the team that could win this division for a couple years. But now, the way the Texans are, you're like, shit. This time next year, or in the offseason, depending on what happens in the offseason, we might be sitting here all picking the Texans to win this motherfucker. You know what I mean? Right. Next year.
Right. I think if they beat Jacksonville,
let's get into.
If they beat Jacksonville next week, I think they'll win the division.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they could, and I still think they can. I feel like such a young team, they're gonna drop a game or two where we expect them to win, and Jacksonville could. Right. Which
Jacksonville very well could too. They've shit the bed plenty of times this season too.
Yeah, so. I mean, 2 weeks ago they get their asses blown out by fucking the 49ers, and then you know what I mean, and then this week they blow out. They blow the Titans. So you just never know which team's going to fucking show up.
Right.
Agreed.
We got the Cowboys roll here, 33-10 over the Panthers. Dak Prescott, 28-38, 189 yards on 2 touchdowns. Tony Pollard, 12 for 61 and a touchdown. Rico had 8 for 23. Brandon Cooks, 3 for 42. CD, 6 for 38 and a touchdown. We get into the Panthers here. Bryce Young, 12 for 29, 123 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Nothing much in the running game. Hey, we did say play Adam Thielen, 8 for 74. I think even though he didn't have a touchdown, you'll take especially if you're in a PPR league,
you'll take it.
You'll take it. So, Cowboys roll, Panthers stink. Frank Wright, I mean, he's another guy that it's all expected that he's already pretty much said, I didn't fucking buy a house here in Carolina, and he'll be looking for a new fucking job next year. So
you can't.
He's already telling everybody.
It was like a scrimmage for the Cowboys today. I mean, that's all it was. It was a scrimmage. CD Lamb didn't have to do anything. Tony Pollard didn't have to do much. They didn't have to do much. Their defense carried them today. So,
the Panthers had no chance today, man. It was pretty much over at halftime, even though it was only 17-3. But you didn't expect the Panthers to put up that much offense against this Dallas defense. So Dallas handled their business. They did what they were supposed to do. I know somebody thought that they may stub their toe
Yes,
in Carolina today. That did not happen.
Where is he?
Hey, before that, what do you guys make?
I think it was Allen. I think Allen said that.
Yeah.
Dallas
Hey, before that, Jimmy Johnson is going to be into the Cowboys Ring of Hall of Fame. Jerry said 1923. Yeah, he said 1923. Jerry will
Jimmy,
be.
I just want to tell you, you're going to be in the Ring of Honor 100 years ago. Congratulations.
Yeah, that's what he said. Oh, what year did I say? So Jerry's obviously fucking losing his goddamn mind. But they're trying to move past it. I want to give Ryan. Somebody has got to give out good fantasy advice when you're the reigning, defending LTS fantasy football champion. So of course
Ryan,
I know fantasy, baby. You know
taught
what I
us
mean?
well, Ryan. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. You taught us well.
Yes, you did, Ryan.
Yeah, hey, Ryan's right here. Jerry's getting desperate to try to break the curse. So,
Yeah, he is. They won't do it.
We'll let Jerry read. Everybody says it's because you haven't made amends with Jerry. He's like, fuck it, Jerry, Jimmy, you're in 1923, 2003. I don't fucking know, but just reverse whatever curse you put on us. Trying to win this bitch before I can die.
Yeah, Jimmy Johnson's like, don't you mean 2023? He's like, what year did I say?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah, that's what happened. If you get the clip, just go ahead and search it.
I didn't take my meds, Jerry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Carlos is right. Panthers problem stem from ownership concerns.
Yep.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
I mean,
we
Kemper's
talked
not
about
going anywhere. He just paid a shit ton of money for that team.
We talked about it this morning too. So,
and Frank Wright's going to see you later. One and done.
Late in the third quarter, it was 17-10. Dallas was just playing with it. So,
who is going to want to go to Carolina to coach? I know. There's only 32, and that's your dream job. But if I'm a head coach, if I'm an offensive coordinator, I want no part of Carolina. No part.
They picked the wrong quarterback.
I mean,
they picked the wrong quarterback.
We talked about that.
It's not even that. I mean, wrong coach, wrong quarterback.
Right. I mean, he can still, be a good quarterback. I mean, I'm not going to give up on the kid already, but out of the two,
says he'll go there.
Out of the two, yeah, absolutely. You know what I'm saying? They made the wrong choice by going with Bryce instead of CJ
wrong
Stroud.
Coach, wrong quarterback. I mean, wrong coach for sure.
That offensive line is horrible. I never understood the Frank Reich hire to begin with, to be completely honest. You know what I'm saying? But when you got an owner that wants to meet with the coaching staff every week,
Frank Reich's going to be
that's a problem, bro. So
yeah,
Carolina's going to be in trouble for a hot minute. So as soon as a couple of those young defensive guys want to,
Frank Reich's going to be want to
break loose from Carolina, go down to South Beach.
Yeah, Frank Reich's going to be fired in 2 places in a year and a half time.
Yeah, so he'll go somewhere and be an offensive coordinator for a year. Then he'll get another job. That's the sad part.
I don't think so.
Watch.
No, I think he's at a point in his life where he's probably going to just get out of football. I think that's what's going to happen.
Damn.
I don't think he
said just retire, bro. I mean, he could be another North Turner. He could be another North Turner where he's just a good offensive coordinator. He's
could be, but do you see him sitting up in the booth calling plays, really, or on the sideline?
If you're going to pay him enough, he's going to do it.
Agreed. If he could go, you know what? He could end up in the chat with the Chargers next year.
I was just thinking the Chargers.
the
Chargers, bro.
The Chargers going to hire
as the OC, I would be okay with that. Not as a head coach, but if you're going to make him the OC of the Chargers, I would expect that to kind of work out. But
yeah, we'll see.
Carlos does have a good thing to the Bills. It's possible.
That's possible. Not bad. That's not bad at all.
Yeah, Frank Wright, he's got ties there.
Yeah.
I don't think as a head coach, if I'm the Bills, I'm not hiring as a head coach.
He's an OC. He's an OC.
I don't think this kid McDermott ain't going nowhere, bro. Him and the GM just got an extension. I mean, they built a good program there.
He came out on fire today, and we'll talk about
what they did today. If they continue that, then
let's get into the last early game slate. It was Giants 31-19. The headline of this game to me was more that they had no hot water in the stadium, so all the players had to fucking take cold-ass showers after the game. So shit stadium for a shit team in the commies. Giants win 31-19. They make Danny DeVito look like he's fucking, Aaron Rodgers or somebody out there slinging it. 18 and 26, 246 yards, 3 touchdowns for Danny DeVito. Saquon, 14 carries, 83 yards. Saquon also caught 4 balls, 57 yards for 2 touchdowns. Darius Slayton, 4 for 82 and a touchdown. Speaking of coaches, it's time to get rid of fucking Ron Rivera. He wouldn't be. I'll tell Ron, don't worry about taking a cold shower, guy. You can take a cold one at home and don't be coming back because he needs to be gone too.
We're missing the lead here. What did mom and dad cook Tommy DeVito for dinner when he got home? For a celebratory dinner.
Well, mom made his bed and told him a good nighttime story the night before. So Sam Howell went 31 of 45, 255 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. Brian Robbins, 17 73. He also caught 7 balls. Terry McLaurin only 5 for 43 yards. The Commanders stink. It's time for them to clean house, get a new stadium. They got the new owner, get a new stadium that actually has hot water and no fucking poop flowing around everywhere. This team stinks. They stink.
Didn't the owners just pay like $600 billion or something for the franchise? And you can't put hot water in the stadium? I mean, really? Come on now. What are you doing?
They said they would have, to fix it, they would have had to shut all the water off in the stadium so everybody's getting cold water.
Bro, this coaching staff is so bad that they made Terry McLaurin basically a non-factor this year, bro. And that's
they made Danny DeVito look like he's fucking,
bro.
I
saw a crazy stat that I think DeVito has thrown like 70-something passes, has 5 touchdowns. Zach Wilson has over 300 and something attempts and has 5 touchdowns.
Ryan Larson says no team can make a dog shit roster like the Giants look like a playoff team like the Commanders. Amen to that. So
facts.
I will say this: everybody's on the Sam Howell bandwagon. I will say this: I was red zone cut to this game a lot today. Okay,
we're not even fucking in the red zone very often.
Well, the Giants were, but the Commanders weren't. Sam Howell
Scott is giving up on every quarterback.
I know. Give up on Will Levis, Sam Howell,
Kenny Pickett, Will Levis.
Today, every time Sam Howell had the ball, he held it way too long. He holds the ball way too long. Yeah. And then it's like, okay, that's not open. Let me just pat the ball and hold it some more. And look, what are you doing, buddy? Get rid of the ball. Get out of the pocket. Throw the ball out of bounds. He took a ton of bad hits today. A ton of them. He needs to get rid of them.
He'll learn. He's still young. He's going to get better. Hopefully, he'll get better if the team around him actually gets better. The coaching definitely needs to get better because
we don't have
the whole coaching staff needs to go. I think Del Rio, somebody is still coaching on the team. Like enough. You know what I'm saying? Like they just need to go. Get some young blood in there in the coaching staff.
What's their OC's name they got from Kansas City?
Bieniemy. Eric Bieniemy.
Bieniemy's still running this offense like it's the goddamn Chiefs, and that's the problem too. Like he's got to look around and say, that's not Patrick Mahomes, that's not Travis Kelce, that's not Terry McLaurin's an absolute dude.
Not a good offensive line. They got
the offensive line's atrocious.
Some players. The offensive line is horrible. They gave away their 2 edge rushers, so they basically gave it up on defense. And I knew that the Giants always give Washington a problem, man. And when we made our freaking picks, I was like, damn. But this again. They like Ryan said, they made DeVito look like a Pro Bowler, bro.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like the Giants didn't even want him to.
The Giants don't have. Yes,
they didn't want him throwing the ball, and they let him throw it all over the yard, bro. 246 and 3 touchdowns. So, oh my God, the Giants they both suck anyway. So, it is what it is. Both of those, neither one of these teams matter.
Ooh, Ryan says Sam's house, he's shown a lot of promise. So
Ryan, New England doesn't have a quarterback, so nobody else can have a good quarterback. That's what I say.
Yeah, Scott's given up on every quarterback that there is. Unless they're named Sonny Ball, Y.A. Tittle, and Johnny U. You know what I mean?
I will say Sam Howell has progressed nicely this year. He just gets in these stretches where he just holds the ball way too long. Yeah. Way too long. And he takes these hits that he doesn't need to get
Some of
rid of
that's the O line. Some of that's the O line.
Some of that's the O line.
And Sam's still really a rookie too, right? He hasn't played 17 games in this, total.
No, he
game
has not.
Right.
No, he's
Well,
not.
and like you mentioned, it, Nick, Bieniemy calls some of these plays he's calling on long developing plays,
Yeah,
and it's like you ain't got the offensive line or Patrick Mahomes back there to extend the play.
Yeah.
Sam Howell is a pretty decent, he's not the most athletic quarterback, but he can move around a little bit. But he's I think he's gonna be a good quarterback. Sam Howell, I like Sam Howell.
What's that saying? Tyreek ain't walking through that door, and Travis Kelce ain't walking through the door.
They not.
No,
they're not.
Hey,
Get out of the Kansas City mindset.
the Commanders, neither is Joe Gibbs, and neither is Sammy Baugh, neither is
Right.
none of them guys.
Sonny
John
Jorgensen,
Riggins.
none of
Yeah,
them guys.
Dennis Green. None of those guys are walking through the door either.
Nope.
Let's get into the next one. The Buccaneers go to San Francisco. It seems like everything's all right. Back-to-back wins for the 49ers. 27-14. They get to 7-3. Bucks fall to 4-6. Baker 29 of 45, 246 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Rashad White 9 carries for 30 yards and a touchdown. Let's see. Kate Otten had 4 for 49. Mike Evans 5 for 43 and a touchdown. Chris Godwin 6 for 39. We get to the 49ers. Seems like as long as Trent Williams is back there, everything's A-okay. Brock Purdy had himself a ball game, 20 of 25, 333 yards, 3 touchdowns. Christian McCaffrey, 2 games in a row where CMC doesn't score a touchdown, folks. Oh, he got 1 passing, not receiving.
He got 1 passing. Yeah.
Yep. 21 to 78 yards. Brandon Ayuk, 5 for 156 yards and a touchdown. George Kittle, 8 for 89 and a touchdown. CMC did have 5 for 25 and then the touchdown. Everything's A-okay back in San Francisco or Santa Clara, Scott?
As long as Trent Williams is there, it seems to be. When Trent Williams is out, Brock Purdy struggles. When he's on the offensive line, Brock Purdy looks like a great quarterback. That was the problem with them. Debo was out, Trent Williams was out. Purdy struggled in those games. He presses when he falls behind, and he's a different quarterback. When he's ahead, he seems like he plays really good quarterback. So San Francisco is on a short week this week. They're going to Seattle on Thanksgiving night. That's going to be a really good game.
Nice.
Big game.
Nice.
Big
If
game.
San Francisco beats Seattle Thursday night, that's
That's a wrap for the division. Yeah.
Pretty much,
So, again, they have a lot of talent on the offensive side of the ball. They should move
on
more
both sides, bro. On
both sides too. Yeah,
Oh, so, yeah, their defense. This is my pick, the NFC team to get to the Super Bowl. I mean, they're my own lone survivor right now because the Bengals ain't making it. So
the Chase Young trade for the 49ers makes all the difference in the world for that defense.
Absolutely.
Chase Young, and don't forget the guy that they got.
They can't double.
Randy
They can't
Gregory,
double
too.
Bosa now. They can't double Bosa on
You
the other
can't.
side.
And they got
Yeah.
Randy Gregory.
Right.
And they got Randy
So-
Gregory too. Yeah. So
Yeah.
their defense is nasty. If their cornerbacks do not allow receivers to go off, they're going to win 12 or 13 games this year. So
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
pulling up their schedule right now.
Okay.
So they got the Seahawks. Then here's the big one, especially if the Eagles lose on Monday night.
they're going to Philly.
They got to go to Philly, rematch the NFC Championship game. And boy, do these two teams fucking hate each other because remember, all that talk, the Eagles talked a lot of shit and the 49ers talked a lot of shit, said, nah, we would have beat y'all if our guy would have stayed healthy. They
Right.
firmly believe it. So we're going to find out who that – and the winner of that game is going to be the number 1 seed of the NFC.
Well, is that Philly San Francisco game a primetime game? Or
It's
4
a
o'clock?
Sunday
It better
afternoon
be.
game, 3 o'clock
Sunday.
game. It's a 3 it's the
Flex
Sunday.
that.
It's
Flex that
They need,
into
to,
Sunday.
they need to flex that one, bro.
Unless Fox has protected that game. Each network gets like 5 games.
Yeah. And then
That's
then
no
they got the Seahawks again after that Eagles game. Then the rest of the way they got the Cardinals, and then they got their last tough game would be the Ravens. But man, they win these next 2 games.
It's going to come down to Detroit and them possibly for the number 1 seed if Philly loses tomorrow night and they lose to San Francisco. It's going to come down to San Francisco and Detroit for the number 1 seed.
Yeah, I mean, all 3 of them.
And did they? I thought the 49ers played the Lions early in the year, but I guess not.
No,
that was
I
the
don't think-
Eagles or somebody, I think.
That
they
was the
lost to.
Eagles played the Lions, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, I mean all three of the top teams are gonna have to play a couple of hard games down the stretch here. I mean, it helps when the best left tackle in football is in the lineup. You know what I'm saying? So that is gonna help a young quarterback. Having Debo, is obviously gonna help. I mean, they got weapons all over the place. Brandon Ayuk is turning out to be a really, really good wide receiver. He's the best wide receiver on that team.
I said that at the beginning of the year. I said I thought he was the better. I think he's better than Debo.
Freaking John Lynch and fucking Kyle Shanahan, they jumped over Miami in that draft and took Brandon Ayuk, and the Dolphins were going to draft him that year, man. I remember that shit. But he's turning into a stud, bro. He's a hell of a player.
I was high on him. I said at the beginning of the year, I said he's the best receiver they have.
Yeah, Brock Purdy does a good job of involving everybody. George Kittle has gone off since Brock Purdy took over because there were a few games there towards the end of Garoppolo where it's like, what the hell happened to George Kittle? So he's getting the ball a lot more. He throws it to the right guy. You know what I'm saying? He trusts the play and the game plan. He's making the right plays. And again, he's got a lot of weapons around him. That defense is solid. There's a reason that the San Francisco team was in the Super Bowl a few years ago and the NFC title game the last few years. I mean, that's a solid team, and he's playing well. If he keeps playing well like this, they will have that number one seed, man. I believe.
Yeah. You guys remember 2 years ago you couldn't get on the field because he wasn't a good pro in Shanahan's mind, and now look at him.
It's Shanahan's doghouse.
Yeah, it's amazing.
That was another one of those you better block. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Wide receivers are important in those offenses, you know what I'm saying, as part of the running games to block. So if you're not willing to block,
catch balls, but I can find anybody that can catch a ball. Right. I need somebody out here that's willing to do what's needed to win, do the extra. Right. You know what I mean?
I'll stick Juwan Jennings' butt out there before I stick your butt out there because you can't block.
Yeah. So. He's turned into a hell of a player. Kudos to the 49ers for not giving up on the kid. And kudos for Brandon Ayuk for continuing to develop and getting better. And
Absolutely.
Now it's
I think Baker Mayfield is who we thought he was. The Bucks are who we thought they were. And Todd Bowles, I love you, Todd Bowles. He's a great defensive mind. He's not a head coach.
He might be done too.
He's not a head coach, bro. He needs to just coach the defensive side of the ball and just leave it at that, man.
Yeah.
The Bucks need to go young, bro. They need to just trade off and get as many assets.
Well, you can't trade. The trade deadline's come and gone now. But
no, I mean after the season, I'm saying in the offseason, say trade Mike Evans, trade Vita Vea, get as much draft capital as you can.
Well, Mike Evans is a free agent. Mike Evans free agent after this year.
Oh, that's right. Because they talk about them trading him at the deadline. They chose not to, and now you might get a compensatory third-round pick for him.
Because there's still only one game out of the division lead.
Yeah, because the division's awesome. The division's so bad.
My bad. That's right.
Not that they're going to win the division.
I forgot about their division. The division.
New Orleans is 5-5 in first place, so they're 4-6. They're a game in back of them.
Wow.
Yeah. So Ryan's saying that Baker does got some juice left of him, and Baker hasn't played too bad, but a guy who's been playing bad was finally benched today was Zach Wilson. He went 7 as the Jets lose 32-6. Bills said, hey, we might have fired our OC. Everybody thinks it's real hot in the kitchen here, but here come the shitty-ass Jets, and we'll handle business. Zach Wilson, 7-15, 81 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Breece Hall, 10 carries for 23 yards. Breece Hall did have 5 receptions, 50 yards, and a touchdown. The Bills, we get into the Bills here. Josh Allen, 3 touchdowns, 275 yards, 1 interception. James Cook, we've been saying give James Cook the ball. They did today, 17 carries for 73 yards. Latavius Murray had 10 carries for 35 yards. Khalil Shakur, 3 for 115 yards and a touchdown. Only Stephon Diggs only had 4 receptions, folks. Could be trouble. Dalton Kincaid, 6 for 46.
Expect some tweets from Trayvon Diggs.
Yeah, watch Trayvon Diggs get on Twitter today, even after the win. Johnny, what's your thoughts here? Bill, a good get-right game for the Bills here.
I mean, I'm hoping that it'll be the same story on Friday when Miami goes up to New York to play these Jets. Hopefully do the right thing. and play Zach Wilson one more time. Try him out one more time. You know what I'm saying? Make sure that he's as garbage as he appears to be. Bro, 7 of 15, 81 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Like he's just not a starting quarterback in the league, man. And I mean, the kid, he's got some ability, but that, you know what I'm saying, he got drafted way too high. There's too much expectations, and then in New York with that fan base and that media up there, the kid had no chance. Robert Saleh, like I think he keeps his job probably because your boy is probably going to say to keep him. You know what I'm saying? Aaron Rodgers is probably going to say, no, keep Robert Saleh there. Don't blow everything out because he's going to come back next year.
Let's go get Devontae and we'll be okay.
But how do you not have a legit backup for, you know what I'm saying, for Aaron Rodgers? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know it's Aaron Rodgers and, you know what I'm saying, he doesn't really get hurt often, but he's a 39-year-old Aaron Rodgers.
Jets can't score free meal on Thanksgiving at a food kitchen. Amen to that.
I just hope they keep it going on Friday, Carlos, for real. That's all.
The previous comments by Johnny Cruz were brought to you by
Robert.
Dolphins.
Yes, like I said, Robert Saleh. Give the kid one more chance. Give him one more game and see how he does, and then you can bench him after that.
Wasn't this the kid that beat the Dolphins 44-6 in New York last year?
Their defense beat us 44-6, and we didn't have Tua either. But I mean, like I said, and there's plays to be made there, man. That's the thing with this kid too. It's like I don't know what he's seeing or not. I mean, obviously he ain't seeing shit because
he's a bust. We've seen enough. Zach Wilson should have played his last starting quarterback.
This is the one, Scott, the one you've been thinking about all day.
Yeah,
you ran through the.
We can all agree we can give up on Zach Wilson. Maybe the other ones, Will Levis, I want to give a little time to. Sam Howell, let's see what a coaching change does. Kenny Pickett, let's see what a new OC does. I think we can all agree Zach Wilson as a starting quarterback we can give up on.
Listen, I would take Zach Wilson over Joe Flacco. I would take Zach Wilson over Mac Jones and Bailey Zappi.
No, I would take Mac over Wilson still.
No, I would too. I'm just kidding.
I would. Yeah.
I mean, the kid's not, as Johnny said, the kid's not a starting NFL quarterback.
No, he's not.
He's a great number 3 quarterback. That's what he is. He's a number 3 quarterback.
He's number 3.
He's a great.
Good practice squad guy.
He's a great
practice squad guy.
He's a great emergency quarterback.
If the Jets release him this year, how many teams are going to line up to sign this kid?
There's going to be
somebody will. There'll be one person that brings him in, thinks that they can wreck us. Right. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, you never know. Maybe if he goes to
Marcus Russell, Ryan Leaf got second shots. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Maybe he goes to a smaller market somewhere, backs up for a little bit, maybe develops a little bit because it's not like he's gotten the best coaching either in the Jets, to be completely honest. But Buffalo needed this. This was huge for Buffalo to get right, like you mentioned.
I still don't know if they're making the playoffs. We went over their schedule this morning.
It's. I mean, we expected them to win this game anyway, so it's not much of a surprise. But they definitely needed to win. They stomped them out. They did what they had to do. The Jets is just that's a lost case over there, man. That defense is good, but they can't. This is the thing we said. Can they even score any points? They put up 6.
Yeah.
And that's the first touchdown. That's the first touchdown they got in 11 quarters, and then they didn't get the 2-point conversion.
The best pass today was made by their punter. Morstead threw a nice, pretty ball.
On the fake.
So I will say this: you're probably going to see Zach Wilson Friday only because it's a short week, and I don't think they can get Simeon up to.
I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping.
Hire these guys to work inner city summer camps and teach kids how to deal with bowling. I mean, why not?
All we need now is Ed Columbus.
Wilson or Lance?
I would have to say Wilson because we've seen more of Wilson. You know what I'm saying? We still don't know what
at least he's on a team. Trey Lance ain't even he's a third stringer on 2 teams now.
Yeah, and I don't think Zach Wilson.
That's a valid point. That's a valid point.
It might be Trey Lance, right? At least Zach Wilson's still getting playing fucking time.
That's true.
Trey's not even
they ain't got no choice. They ain't got no choice. But I hear you. Yeah, Trey Lance. I mean, he can't even win a backup role.
Well, here's the big
It's on two teams now. Two teams.
Right.
I would substitute Lance for Pickett. Who's the biggest bust, Wilson or Pickett? I think it's Pickett.
No, Wilson. Wilson was taking number 2 overall.
Right. Pickett was like 20. He was like the 20th pick or something like that.
21 or 22, something like that.
Yeah. And this is Pickett's second year. This is Wilson's third year, fourth year. I don't know.
Third year.
Yeah.
But I mean, Wilson's up there with Leaf and Jamarcus Russell,
Rick Myra, and all that.
Greg yeah. Zach Wilson's in that territory. Hey, you know what? But you were saying
I think after this Friday, he won't get another start. But
no, they shouldn't start him on Friday.
No, stop that. They need to start him on Friday, and then they can bench him after that.
Go to somebody else.
The previous comments were brought to you by the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah. If I'm Bob Saleh, you're going to lose the locker room. You're going to lose the locker room. You almost already lost it last year, and then
That's why he let that whole Mike White thing happen last year with the whole shirts and stuff like that.
Yeah,
because that's what the defense wanted. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Again, that's why I don't understand how you have Zach Wilson as your only backup.
Well, I mean,
for Aaron Rodgers, bro.
Well, they brought in Tim Boyle. You know, who the fuck knows?
Yeah, but you could have had somebody with some kind of experience behind Aaron Rodgers.
We thought maybe. Well, you don't ever think Aaron's going to blow out his Achilles in the first.
I know,
game
but
of
at
the
least
season,
have
first snaps in.
Agreed, but to the locker room talk, I think he's already lost the locker room.
Oh yeah,
I really do. I think he already has, because he said 2 weeks ago, Zach Wilson's got the talent to lead us to wins. Really? Where? When?
Where? Yeah.
So
let's get into the last game of the day. The Seahawks had not lost to an NFC team except week 1 to the 49 or to the Rams, and they played the Rams today and lose again. Geno Smith gets hurt in this game. Before he gets hurt, it's 22 of 34, 233 yards, 1 touchdown. Zach Charbonnet has 15 carries, 47 yards. Only 4 carries for Kenneth Walker. DK, 5 for 94 and a touchdown. Tyler Lockett, 5 for 51. JSN only had 3 receptions. So we get to the Rams. Matthew Stafford back off of injury, 190 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Royce Freeman, 17 of 73. Cooper Kupp got hurt in this game. And then Puka had 5 for 70 and a touchdown. Rams win an ugly one, 17-16. Scott, you called it.
I mean, Cooper Kupp gets hurt, and you still win the game. I mean, if Geno Smith's not the starting quarterback for Seattle, they're in serious trouble. Serious trouble.
Yeah, I think it was just a concussion, with Geno.
And Walker, as Alan's saying, he got hurt and left the game too. So Seattle lost the starting quarterback, the starting running back. You can't win in the NFL when you lose those 2 guys. So to me, it's just the fact that they're 6-4 right now. San Francisco, I don't think there's enough time for Walker, if he got a concussion, or Geno, to get back.
Yeah,
you only have 3 days. If
they played the 49ers on Thursday night,
Thursday night. So if one of them's in the concussion protocol, there ain't enough time for these guys to get back.
49ers are looking pretty on Thursday, Thanksgiving.
Charbonnet and was Geno a concussion, or was he something else?
I think it was concussion.
No, I thought it was something with his hand, but is it a concussion?
Oh, was it? I don't know. I was kind of scrolling on Twitter when I saw it. So
right. I don't know. Yeah, you're right. If it's a concussion, he ain't
Walker's. So Ryan's saying Walker's injury is serious too. It's going to be multiple games.
Yeah, so it's Zach Charbonnet, which Seattle could be out of the playoffs very quickly here. They play San Francisco 2 of the next 3 weeks. They could be 7-6 depending on who they play in between that.
Yeah, but the NFC stinks as a whole.
Yeah, true. But if one of these teams get on a roll that we don't expect to and get in the play, get up to Seattle. Seattle might miss the playoffs. Yeah,
I mean, Seattle's 6-4 right now.
Yes, see, they got the 49ers, they got the Cowboys. So they could lose all 3 of those games.
Yep.
Well, I mean, they got a tough schedule. Their schedule's brutal, actually.
Yeah.
Listen to this. They could lose their next 4 games. They got 49ers on Thanksgiving. Then they turn around and play the Cowboys at 1 week on a Thursday primetime game.
Yeah.
Then they got the 49ers again. And then they got the fucking Eagles.
You could be 6-8 very quickly. You could be out of the playoffs very quickly.
Wow.
Because I don't think 9-8 get you in the playoffs, even in the NFC. I just don't see it.
I'm looking at the NFC. So who's all behind? Guess what, boys? The
Packers.
Green Bay Packers are in one game. They're 4-6, and by God, they're. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not going to be the one to say that your team has a chance because I'm done giving you false hope. But if they do make it, I will be saying I told you, bro.
yeah, I mean Seattle with that schedule. Green Bay's the Rams are right there at 4-6, right behind them at the 8-9. Hell, Atlanta and Tampa Bay are both 4-6 too. So, Minnesota, who's winning right now, is the 7th seed. So, the 6th seed at 6-4. So,
so here's what I think. Dallas is going to get a wild card. Minnesota is going to get a wild card, and then the last wild card in the NFC could be a team that goes 8-9.
Green Bay's remaining games, so they got Detroit. They don't. Their next 2 games are tough. They'll probably lose them, but after that, it's some easier games that they got chances to win.
Yeah.
They play the Lions Thanksgiving Day. I don't think we're going to win that game. We got the fucking Chiefs. We're definitely not winning that fucking game. Then we got the Giants. That's a winnable game on Monday Night Football.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then we got the Bucks. That's a winnable game.
Yep.
Yep.
Then we got the Panthers. That's a winnable game.
Yep.
Then we got the Vikings. It's a little that's
That's a
win.
That's a winnable game.
That's a
bro.
winnable game, but it's
that's
hazy.
a winnable game, bro.
Yeah, hazy, right? Then you got the
Hazy.
Bears on the last game of the season.
So they could end up going
Well,
5-2 down the stretch
I was
here.
about to say, right. Well,
If we go 5-2, boys, I
Yeah.
might shit myself down the stretch too. So
4-3 or 5-2 is very attainable for the Packers
bro,
down the stretch.
that's 8 or 9 wins, which is what we were talking about before the season. You know what I'm saying? So if they can go 9-8 and sneak in the like you said, right now they're number 8. If they can sneak in as a number 7 seed, this Gino.
Gino is an elbows.
Right,
elbow
right,
injury.
right. So
But
it was an
even
elbow
with Gino,
bruise.
I don't think they're winning these next 4 games.
Well,
No.
I mean, he'll at least give
No.
them a chance. The
Yes.
Walker injury sucks.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Because they're all about playing good defense, running the ball, Gino making a couple plays or whatever. Zach Charbonnet's actually coming on, so he was a good 1-2 for them. But if Walker's out and Charbonnet has to carry the load, and then you got Gino with the hurt arm,
I don't know.
Packers will not win those games.
Here's what I will say.
You never know,
Here's-
man. This is a
here's what I
positive
will say
show,
about-
bro. This is a positive show.
Here's what I say about
Except for
Seattle.
Scott is quitting on quarterbacks on everybody.
I quit on Geno Smith too. Pete, as we call him up in New England, Pete the Poodle, okay, is glowing about everything. He's been on the Zach Charbonnet bandwagon for the last 3 weeks.
I like this kid.
Time to see it. Time
Yeah.
to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because Kenneth Walker will be out. I think Seattle could still make the playoffs, but they got to win 9 games. They don't win 9 games, they're in trouble. So
I'm not even gonna front. I've had him stashed on my fantasy for a minute because I like Zach a lot. So let's see. He actually is gonna get an opportunity here. So let's see if he can carry that load. But that's a hell of a stretch right there, bro. San Francisco twice, Dallas, and then Philly. Whew.
yeah.
good luck.
I don't know. They're not winning. They're going to lose their next 4 games.
I'm about to say they
That's
might
5
win.
losses.
They might win one.
The Cowboys game would be the one that I think that maybe you just never know what the Cowboys.
I mean, the divisional game with San Francisco, you never know. You know what I'm saying? But the way San Francisco is playing right now, oof, that's ugly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's get into our turds of the week. Our week 11 turd of the week. Johnny, who's your turd of the week here?
And I mean this with all the respect in the world. And Robert Saleh, do not take me too seriously, but I'm going to have to go with Mr. Zach Wilson. Okay, and even though he's my turd of the week, I still think he should play on Friday. 7 of 15, 81 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Like we said it before, there were guys open, man. There were plays to be made there. Breece Hall is doing everything he possibly can to help this team win. But you can't do anything when your quarterback is this incompetent, man. And I feel bad for saying it, but it's facts. He's just not an NFL quarterback. It is what it is. So Zach Wilson, even though I think he should get another chance to play on Friday, He is my turd of the week, man. That was just horrible, bro. He gave his team no chance to win today, and he wound up getting benched.
Scott, turd of the week.
Sam Dean, we all love you very much, but my turn of the week is the Tennessee Titans organization.
Oh shit!
When you leave one of the top 5 coaches in the NFL with no talent to help coach, you have basically left your organization high and dry. The GM in Tennessee has done nothing to help that on-field product in Mike Vrabel. Their offensive line's terrible. They're giving their rookie quarterback Will Levis no time. Yeah, and FedEx Field could be another one, so I should go code turds, but I won't. Derrick Henry is past his stamp date, so to speak, past his date of expiration. There's just no talent on that Tennessee Titans offense or defense. So my turn of the week is the Tennessee Titans organization.
Yeah, Ryan said here his turn of the week is Riverboat Ron Rivera.
That was the other one I was thinking about too.
I was going back and forth with Washington, the whole organization of Washington. Or
so my turn of the week is none other than Mr. Lame Duck himself, Brandon Staley from the LA Chargers, for the only 10 carries that you give Austin Eckler. I mean, we said it earlier in the show, the Green Bay Packers can't stop a fucking nosebleed in the run game, and you only give Austin Eckler 10 carries and 10 for 60 yards, which means 6 yards a carry. I don't know. That's pretty fucking good, and that game wasn't a blowout. It was close. I don't know. Maybe it should have fucking ran him a little bit more than just 10 carries, and that's why next year you're going to be jobless because you're our NFL Week 11 turd of the week, Mr. Brandon Staley.
There you go, Rob. Rob Logan will be proud of that one. So Carlos, we got a couple comments here on the turds here. Carlos says Carlos is hating on Mike Vrabel, boy.
Yeah, says that's not true. The Titans' problem stems from Vrabel picking a home team coaches that make terrible coaches. Alan says Staley needs to stay in Green Bay. Yeah, he would have been. The LaFleurs, Arthur Smith was a pretty good OC, I felt like, for them, and the list goes on and on. So I wouldn't say I wouldn't put Arthur Smith on that.
I kind of agree, but Vrabel.
Well, let's see what winds up happening in Atlanta, man. Because I mean, it's easy to just hand the ball off to Derrick Henry 40 times a game and tell Ryan Tannehill just throw it 2 or 3 times, and that's it off of play action. So
yeah.
We'll see.
Vrabel's not the only one picking the talent down there. They have a GM that's picking the talent down
there. It's a new GM
because the old GM
fucked it all up.
The one that left them screwed this way, which is why I don't think Vrabel's going nowhere, bro. That's why I don't think Vrabel's going nowhere. But I know you want him. I know you want him, Scott.
I want him bad.
I know you do.
But I personally think the GM had a hand in helping Vrabel pick this team.
Yeah,
they've done no favors for Vrabel as a coach because
they're strapped to, according to Sam, they're strapped to cash wise. You know what I mean? Cash flow is.
They come up with the cash to sign D-Hop.
Yeah,
that took a lot of money to sign D-Hop.
Yeah,
so they had some money.
I think they were trying to make one last run with Ryan Tannehill, hoping that they can do something. Like I said, I thought they should have just blown it all up, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying,
Johnny? We'll start with you again. Who is your Week 11 dog of the week?
I almost was going to be a homer and go with Jalen Ramsey because those 2 interceptions were huge, especially that clincher. But I'm gonna keep it real and I'm gonna go with young Tank Dell. 8 catches, 149 yards, a touchdown. He is a stud. Shout out to the Just fans guys that we've been talking about all night. CJ Stroud has his number 1 wide receiver for many, many years. He is a dude. I almost went with Brandon Ayuk is another good one, but Tank Dell is a baller, bro. He's fun to watch. He just makes big plays, man, over and over and over again, man. He's a great player. So that is my dog of the week, Tank Dell.
Scott, who's your dog of the week?
Johnny brought up a lot of good ones. There's many ones. I'm gonna go with Josh Allen for all the stuff swirling around him in Buffalo, the firing of the offensive coordinator, him taking responsibility for it. And he went out and put up a performance like that today. Even though Josh Allen's put up better performances and stuff like that, with the Stephon Diggs brothers comments and all the firings and stuff, Josh Allen really played well today. I knew he threw a pick, but to put up 32 points and to lead that offense the way he led it, Josh Allen's my dog of the week.
I mean, against a very good defense that he's had problems with too, man. So, yeah, that's a good one, bro. I didn't even think about that. That's a good one.
275, 3 touchdowns. He didn't run a lot today. Didn't have to. He just really put that team on his shoulders and said, "Okay, boys, I'm carrying you this week. Let's go." And they went. So
that's a good one, Scott.
Yeah, that was a good one. Oh man, you know what? Here's my dog of the week.
Johnny, you took his dog of the week, by the way.
I'm sorry, bro.
You did. My dog of the week is none other than Mr. Danny Tommy DeVito, baby. 18 of 26, 246 yards, not 1, not 2, but 3 touchdowns, and the Giants finally get a W, baby. Danny Tommy DeVito is my NFL Week 11 dog of the week.
See, Johnny, what you did, you took his Tank Dell dog of the week, so he had to go to Tommy DeVito.
Apology. I almost went with Tommy DeVito. I have him written down on my pad right here, but I was like, nah, I'm not going to go with Tommy DeVito. I got to go with somebody better.
I was going to go Tank Dell, but you stole my Tank Dell.
We're gonna have to communicate a little better on the pre-show.
No, I like it. Maybe go last second.
Yeah. Nah, but he deserves it this week.
Yeah,
he did. He did play like a dog. You know what I'm saying? So props to Tommy D. I hope you like the Kraft macaroni and cheese that you get tonight. You know what I'm saying? It's well deserved, bro.
You're not getting the store brand. You're getting the real thing, Tommy. So
yes.
Trevor Lawrence is another good one too.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, he had
about time.
He had putting the team on his back when everyone was saying he was struggling, not living up to the potential.
But let's see him do it more than just this week.
Right.
Okay.
And against somebody other than the Titans.
Yeah. Maybe the Titans.
Right.
Yeah. I feel like that Jags team's just so up and down all year. Right. You know what I mean?
All year, bro. Oh yeah.
And that's what I said about the Texans too. Like they're just a team that I feel like is so up and down. I can't go to.
But at least they have the excuse of being young.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, this Jags team, they made it to the playoffs last year. They had that big comeback win in the playoffs against the Chargers. You thought this next year under, Doug Peterson, at least I did. You know what I'm saying? I drank the, I drank the Kool-Aid thinking Trevor Lawrence might, battle for MVP. I don't know. I mean, let's see what happens, but yeah, this Jaguars team for being as talented as they are, they shouldn't be as up and down as they are. Houston, you can understand because they're young.
Yeah, listen, Allen puts up his cowboy to Ron Bland. Okay, you can't use a dog of the week on your own team, or Nick would have went with Jordan Love.
Right. Or I would have went with Ramsey.
I almost went with Tyreek. I thought that's who Johnny was going to go with being the homer.
I tried not to be a homer, so you know what I'm saying. But Tyreek's like a given almost every. I mean, like he's an honorary, dog every freaking week. But Jalen Ramsey balled out today, man. He was.
You can't use any player on Dallas because they kicked the crap out of Carolina, and we all knew they were going to do it. Well, I thought they would struggle today, but we knew they were going to do it. So you can't use Deron Bland. So, Allen, pick somebody else.
Hey, Danny DeVito Danny Tommy DeVito gets an award. This might be the only award he ever gets. So,
are you sending him the chain? Are you sending him the chain, Nick?
Hey, Tommy Danny DeVito. This might be the only award he gets in his whole life. He should be honored that he gets the Bodkin NFL Week 11 Dog of the Week. When he tells his grandkids, "Hey, I played in the league," like, "Did you get any awards?" Well, this one week, I Week 11, and back in 2023, I was on the Bodkin Show Dog of the Week.
You should put in
Dog of the Week.
You should put in a request with the Giants to get Tommy DeVito on the Bodkin Show for an interview.
I'd be like, "Hey, he was my dog of the week. I need to speak with Tommy DeVito." I'll talk to his mom, Scott. You think his mom? I'll probably try to reach in his mom's DMs.
Tell him you'll send him a nice dinner through the mail, a turkey
Yeah.
dinner or something this week.
Hello Fresh meal I'll send to his mom's at his mom's house.
Oh man.
I'll slide into his mom's DM since I'm like, hey, can you tell Tommy, just let him know he was NFL Week 11 Dog of the Week.
Listen,
Well
John,
deserved. Well
listen,
deserved.
I know you got another show tonight, so I hope Rob is well and is not going to go on a rant. He did last week. He did last week.
Yeah, I know, and I wound up having to miss that one too. So I'm looking forward to this one. I'm looking forward to the show, Rob. Not to you, not to your disappointment with your Chargers and stuff. But I mean, I think I'm surprised Rob's not numb to it already. You know what I'm saying? But
I think he is.
It's going to be fun to talk.
Well, you got to be.
him
I saw a stat today. No team's given up more fourth quarter leagues. All of pretty much since the fucking football started. This is like Dan Fouts era, like the 70s. They were saying, since 70s, no team has blown more fourth quarter leads than the Chargers.
That playoff loss last year killed them. It just absolutely killed them.
I mean, 2 years ago, I don't know how they didn't fire Staley. Remember 2 years ago when all they had to do was tie with the Raiders and they were both in the playoffs, and
he called that timeout, and the Raiders said,
Rich was like, "Hey, I'm okay to tie. We'll both get in." And then they called the timeout, and the Raiders were like, "Oh, okay, fuck that. Then we'll go down. We'll kick the game winner, kick out the playoffs."
Brandon Staley had it all set up for him with Bisaccia, where they were just going to tie.
Yeah.
And then he decided he wanted to try to win the game and knock the Raiders out. So screw you, Brandon Staley. I mean,
I mean, you know.
We got Spicy Scott today, boy.
Hey,
he's benching quarterbacks.
Man, that fucking Pitcher's Farms is on.
Benching quarterbacks, calling everybody.
It's because New England. You get fired up when your team's shitty because you're just pissed off at the world when your team's fucking shitty.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes doesn't play well tomorrow night. I'm going to want him out too. So. No, I'm just kidding.
Is this just battle of the field goals going on tonight? This is going to be a fun one to talk about.
I mean,
it'll be great.
Dobbs has scored 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. I mean, it's 17-12 now.
Minnesota's up 17-12?
Yeah. Denver can't do nothing but kick field goals.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. They kick field goals and then they score a touchdown late in the game to win the game. That's the whole thing. That they've done it all year long. Their offense looks like crap, and then all of a sudden Russell Wilson turns into Seattle Russell Wilson.
I mean, I'll take it, boy. Looking at my picks for this week, holy shit, this was horrible.
We were all bad. I looked at him earlier.
We did
really well this week.
Yeah. I needed a decent game out of Jerry Jeudy in fantasy, and he's got 10 so far, so I'll take it.
Oh, Tanner's going to have a field day with us on.
I had a 13-point lead. The guy I'm going against in my big money leagues got Sutton and Smith. So I was like, I need Jeudy to ball out a little bit.
Right.
Sutton hasn't done much of anything, I don't think. He's got 7 or 8 points, I think, right? It's Devonta Smith I'd be worried about tomorrow night. With no
Sutton's got 5 points. So, I just need Jeudy. If Jeudy could score a touchdown, maybe the game winner or something here, and really kind of open it up.
With no Goddard tomorrow night, Devonta Smith is due for one of these 30-point games.
Hopefully it's all fucking.
Hopefully it's AJ Brown, but
AJ Brown for me,
I need Devonta. I want Devonta.
Yeah, Alan, we talked about this. It's in 2030, so we already talked about that earlier.
We already talked about 1920. He's going in. He's already in. So don't worry about it, Alan. There's no Cowboys talk on this show, Alan.
We already got through our obligatory Cowboy talk. John, you got any final thoughts here before we get out of here?
Yeah, just another fun show, another fun day of NFL football. Looking forward to doing the recap, the late recap show with Rob and Alan in about an hour or so. We got a special LTS show tomorrow because we're not doing one on Thursday, so looking forward to that. Let's talk Miami Dolphins. Aqua and Orange will be back tomorrow, 8 o'clock with me and my boy Alex. We will discuss this ugly win by the Dolphins, but you know what? We'll take it. We're 7-3. We're first in the division in the AFC East. So check out that tomorrow at 7 o'clock. And then, of course, like I said, the LTS show tomorrow night, 9 o'clock. We're doing our picks on Monday, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So definitely check that out. If you're new, hit the subscribe, smash the like, turn on the notifications. Another fun show, man. Had a blast.
Yeah, we'll be back on the LTS network tomorrow. And go ahead, Scott. I forgot I was about to get out of here before you give it to you.
I hate all quarterbacks. They all suck. Number one. Number two,
Scott got 20 years of Tom Brady,
right,
the greatest of all fucking time.
Right.
And now he forgets what like mediocre to shit quarterbacks.
Yeah. Don't have a bad game. Don't have a bad game or you're a bust.
Before I give my serious thing, me and Keith sit, at a table and we have this big vat of vanilla pudding. And we just share it and talk about Tom Brady rookie year and stuff like that.
The glory days of New England.
Yeah. We'll be back tomorrow night. Me and Johnny will be on Tuesday night with the Scott Cope Show. But everybody have a happy Thanksgiving. If you're not going to watch those next 2 nights, enjoy your holiday season. Be safe, and be with family and enjoy it.
Absolutely.
So.
Yeah. Well, shout out. We actually did our Thanksgiving yesterday. That was glorious. So,
did you have a food fight?
That.
Did you have
no food fight. Nope. So,
throw some stuff
yeah. We'll be back tomorrow, 8 o'clock Central, 9 Eastern, on the LTS network for the LTS show. We will make first hour will be Jim and John both on at the same time. We got a lot to talk about there with Jonathan's LSU Tigers. So a lot of college football talk at the first hour probably. And then the back end, we'll make all our picks for week of 12. Man, if you're a fantasy player, there's only about, depending on where your playoffs are, for most of it, it's week 15 starts or 16. So there's only
week 13 for me.
Yeah,
my high stakes week 13 is my playoffs, so I got 1 week
so
left.
it's crunch time here for most fantasy players. So we'll be back then tomorrow night. So be a friend, tell a friend, folks. Like, subscribe, share. We'll see you then. I'm gonna hit that outro, and we'll see you then, folks. Well, let me find the outro. That's the intro. There's the outro.
Geez.